I just saw a nice interview that Michael Parkinson had done many years ago with Michael Caine. And he made reference to his first wife, and I did a bit of research on his first wife, and it always saddens me greatly when you find out people have died at a fairly young age. Like she had cancer and died at 45. And when you're just doing a little bit of research and you're thinking that they're still alive, and you find out that they died when you were still in high school. And she looked lovely, and she'd done a fair bit of work in repertory theatre and that. And from the time I was a teenager to now, I'm 64 now, going on 65, I'd never even heard of her name. It was Patty Haynes. Anyway, every time, you probably do this yourself, when you see a good movie, you really appreciate it, you go through the cast and you find, there might be one or two names you're familiar with, but you've never really looked them up. And every time you look them up to find out what other things they've done and how they got started and a bit about their biography and their cinematography, or if they're in a band or something, how they got started, you're always half expecting, or 3/4 expecting, with me at least, that they'd still be alive. And then you realise, oh my goodness, they've passed away last year, or I don't remember hearing about them passing away 5 or 10 years ago. I don't know how you react in those moments, but it really hits me hard. And I feel like I could have written them a letter at some stage to thank them for the enjoyment that they gave me, either playing music or in their movies, especially if you watch like 10 of their movies or more. And but I also get upset about the obscure actors and actresses that never really made it. I feel so sorry for them too. And like, we've had a number of TV series in Australia, and I always have a soft spot for where are they now. And so many of them, 90% of them, are on the bones of their asses if they're still alive, or in nursing homes. And you just wish you could do something for them. And I'm not a rich man. I'm no better than a lot of you probably. But all you can do is, if they're still alive, try to write them a letter or something, or get in touch with them somehow through their agent. If you look up who was their last agent trying to get them bookings, just send them a note, and that might get through to them to say, thank you. I loved what you did in this movie or in that show, and you meant a lot to me. It might be the only letter they get all year from a fan, and they just might love to be remembered. And it's not enough to stop me researching the biographies of people, famous and not so famous, in films that I watch, because I watch a lot of films and I watch a lot of news too, and I feel the same about journalists who are no longer in the public eye. Great journalists, and you find out that some of them made it, i.e. they're self-sufficient and independent and doing quite well, and you find out that a lot of others are going to pubs on a nightly basis just to scrape together enough pennies to buy the next schooner of beer or pint of lager. And you just can tell that from the friends that they're hanging out with these days, many of them don't even realise how famous they used to be 30 or 40 years ago, because they're keeping a low profile, because in their own minds they feel a failure, when they're not really a failure. No human being ever born is a failure, because God doesn't make failures. He makes miracles. Everyone's a miracle. I just wanted to share that with you.